Right about now, the Funk Soul Brother. Check it out now. The Funk Soul Brother. Right about now, the Funk Soul.
They're gonna run out of cheeseheads soon.
The Funk Soul Brother. Right about now, the Funk Soul Brother. Check it out now. The Funk Soul Brother. Right about now, the Funk Soul Brother. Right about now. About now. About now. About now.
What's poppin', y'all? It's Man Club Boy Bells, and welcome to another episode of Wisco Sports Weekly, where the sad thing is unfortunate, and bada boom, bada bing, Packers are bad enough to the point where it's actually riveting to say that the Packers are actually in contention to actually run away with the first overall pick this year. This just ain't good. Obviously, if we were even in the top 5 for a pick, I'd still go after a tackle, but pretty much it really is just riveting to me how much these games really matter, because I feel like with any of these games that we've lost this season, I feel like if we would have had Rodgers, at least we could have done something else. I feel like we're starting to see the coaching is starting to be much of a problem, and it's clear as day that Jordan Love is just not the answer. He's had 3 opportunities to get touchdown drives or whatever of that, and all 3 of those times, well, 2 of those ended up in interceptions, including today. But after a week of, this was a slow start. They could not put any points on the board, and then I was like, oh, maybe they'll come back and they'll win. And then they actually took the lead, and then Denver went down. They kicked the field goal, and, it just was unfortunate. Let's go on with this. Jordan Love, 21 of 31 from the day, 180 yards, 2 touchdowns, and an interception, 3 carries for 21 yards. Dylan led the way with rushing and receiving, 15 carries, 61 yards, and 2 for 34. And Aaron Jones, welcome back. Not much of a factor, 8 carries, 35 yards, and 3 catches for 22, but it's good to finally see him back. I get they're trying to work him in there. I think it's important that you do that. Dobbs with 2 catches for 30 and a touchdown. Luke Musgrave had 4 for 30. Watson, 3 for 27. Reed, 3 for 21 and the other touchdown. And keep in mind, both of these touchdowns weren't even touchdowns. The first one was an actualization. I said that even before that guy even on the thing said it. That really was an interception. And I hate how these rules are, but then they looked at it and I'm like, yeah, that really, it's who comes down with the ball first. And I guess apparently that was him, but no one ever saw that. And the second one was a tip drill that realistically wasn't a touchdown. In my defense, we could have done so much better, and we didn't. On the other hand, and then on the defensive side, Isaiah McDuffie actually had a good game, 10 tackles total, and they only sacked Russell Wilson once today. That was Preston Smith, kind of dragged him down. A couple tackles for loss for some people, but they showed some things that could be really impressive. Anders Carlson missed his first field goal on one of the drives that could have really got them somewhere. But everything, I guess, is a learning lesson. Russell Wilson for Denver on the day went 20 of 29, 194 yards, and a touchdown, and 1 carry for 21. We could not contain the run game, and it was unfortunate. Javonte Williams had 15 carries for 82 yards and 3 catches for 14. Jaleel McLaughlin, 5 for 45. And then Samaje Perine, 2 for 10 and 3 for 31 catches. It just was tough to stop them. Cortland Sutton led the day with 6 catches for 76 yards and the lone touchdown. Jerry Jeudy had 5 for 64. And to be real, it's like this is a team that I know wants to rebuild. So, realistically, this was just embarrassing. Singleton led the way for Denver's defense with 11 tackles. Josie Jewell had 10 of those. And Denver's interception was made by P.J. Locke. Will Lutz went 4 of 4 from field goals throughout the day, which was a great day for the veteran. And from the contrary, I'm just getting tired thinking about this, but man, this just sucks. I want to literally look at this team and have some faith going into something. And it keeps just collapsing over and over, and like, I don't know. But deep down, I know we can do better. But deep down, I don't see that happening. And like it or not, we couldn't contain running game, and I think that was a huge problem. Like, literally, when we saw that game against Detroit, we just couldn't contain the runs. I know that there's a lot of people, like, I know that a lot of people don't know who to blame here. I feel like Love is, truly to say it, Love's not the guy, and seeing stuff like this really makes me risk Rodgers, because I feel like, and desperately know, he would have been able to get it done. Like I said, this year specifically, we're going to see a lot of losses that are heartbreaking losses. So we've already seen 3 of the 4 losses really be one-score possession games. And you know what? Now that we're 2-4, we're in contention for the number 1 overall pick. Right now, the Panthers are the only team that hasn't even won a game yet. And also, with that saying, they have that pick. The Bears actually have that pick because they traded for more for that and got fleeced. So pretty much the Panthers are like, the Bears could have the number 1 pick. The Cardinals are the only other team I think that could have that contention. Raiders look terrible, but the Packers are really in the mix now. Personally, I love to tank, but it's like, it's a rare rarity that we'd even end up with either one or the other. And there are a lot of quarterbacks that might come in this draft depending on how the college football season looks. But part of me feels that any situation or any quarterback, I don't think LaFleur is the coach that you want in this game that takes you there. No, I don't want to sit there. And I think that any person who is under the defensive coordinator position and ends up just not failing in like 2 years. I mean, yeah, I don't know if Love's not sticking around. I don't know how Joe Barry will. And, LaFleur, I don't see how Joe Barry will either, because he's the only one advocating for him. Deep down, you know what? Let's just move on once again. And, the depression just keeps on coming and keeps on coming. So I'm not going to really go over anything. But I guess this is still learning lessons, lot to learn. Nothing you can say about it, but another heartbreaking loss. So if you like what you see, subscribe below, comment with your thoughts, and we will see you next time. Next week, we play the Minnesota Vikings at home. So honestly, I hope we actually beat them, but at the same time, do I want the better draft pick? I don't know. We'll see you next time. Go Pack Go.